The Scorpions hang out at the Monte Carlo when they aren't slinging chems or getting their heads blown off by the fiends. Not much to tell. Typical gang of dumb bullies and angry nobodies. They're holed up a bit south of here, in the Monte Carlo Suites. They think they're tough, but anytime they tangle with the fiends, they get torn right up.
Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Mojave. Today we're going to be checking out the Monte Carlo Suites and the surrounding area. Now this was recommended to me by Little Dre, who has been giving me a lot of recommendations and has been a big supporter of this series, so thank you so much. And at the beginning of this video, we listened to a little excerpt from Klamath Bob, who had some information about the inhabitant of the Monte Carlo Suites, the Scorpions, which are a small, unique gang within Fallout New Vegas. However, this location and this enemy is very easily overlooked, so let's go ahead and check it out. First, I want to check out the surrounding area before we head inside. So here on the Pip-Boy, you can see the location of the Monte Carlo Suites. It's directly south of West Side and the Thorn. And then there are some mailboxes around, but there's nothing in them. There's also some overturned trucks, which are kind of used as barricades by the Scorpions. Now, the Scorpions are pretty easy to kill. Most of them are not armed with any good weapons, but their leader is actually armed with a 44 Magnum in near mint condition. On the west side of Monte Carlo, we will find an abandoned home, and this mailbox is booby-trapped and will explode. I don't know of any other mailbox in Fallout like that, so pretty interesting. Now, inside the abandoned house, there is not anything really worth of note. Besides, in the refrigerator, we can find some food and cocktails. But besides that, not a whole lot, and nothing in the bedroom either. But upon leaving the abandoned house, we will be ambushed by fiends in a scripted event. So a pretty cool event and a lot of interesting things happening with this house that are easily overlooked. And then on the northern side of Monte Carlo, we can find a bunch of these like destroyed or burnt down buildings. And this mailbox actually had a copy of Today's Physician. So the mailboxes within New Vegas sometimes can contain decent loot. But as you can see, there's about half a dozen destroyed houses over here. Then this building, which is on the eastern side, is the Tiki Tonga apartment building, an unmarked location within New Vegas. But unfortunately, it doesn't really have anything of interest, as we cannot go inside of it. Across the street, we can find a bombed-out building along with a dead gambler. Now, this gambler appears to have committed suicide, and on his strip letter 7, it reads, "Those gangsters at the tops cheated me. I know it. They're cheats and liars and thieves. Their games are rigged. I've lost every last cap. Every NCR bill I had left. Those slot machines, you can never win. They're programmed to just make you lose, lose, lose. Their cards are marked so their dealers can cheat you. I promise you this. Invisible ink or something. And their roulette tables? Well, what a joke. The ball must be magnetic. And they can tell to land wherever they want. The people that do win there are plants, employees. There's no way I could have lost like that unless they were cheating. No way, no way. Those fancy suits can't buy them class. They're just a bunch of damn con men. They've taken everything from me. I have nothing left. Nothing. What am I going to do? I was supposed to win big here. This is where dreams happen. People told me I can make a fortune here. I just had to have the caps. And I could win myself a new future. And now it's all gone. All gone. So as we can see here, this gambler was suffering from a clear gambling addiction, and he was blaming the casino rather than himself for what had happened. And it would appear that he has committed suicide because he lost all of his money. So a pretty sad and somewhat dark reminder of the effects and potential issues with gambling. Now, from over here, we can actually get some pretty amazing views of New Vegas. To switch the tone of the video, you can get some really beautiful views of the Tops and the Lucky 38, along with the Ultra Lux in the background. We can also find a collapsed highway but we cannot, unfortunately, we cannot get on top of it because there's an invisible wall. And one last interesting thing is on the southeast part of the Monte Carlo Suites, we can find the Summer Springs boarding house, but there's nothing inside. We cannot go inside, unfortunately. Now, inside the Monte Carlo Suites, we will encounter several Scorpion gang members, and they will be hostile on sight. There is no chance at peace. So you want to make your way through and just kill all of them. As I mentioned before, there's not much loot in here, but Yvette carries a .44 Magnum revolver that is in really good condition. But besides that, there is not a whole lot of loot. There's an average locked ammunition crate, but there wasn't much inside of it. And there's also some Sunset Sarsaparilla, but again, not much loot in here, which is quite unfortunate. However, there are some interesting things about this place, these apartments, and it is mainly that the Scorpions appear to be a pretty organized gang. As we can see in this room, this would be the kids' room. There's a teddy bear and also a crib, and they also have other rooms that could be used for making ammunition, having a sleeping quarters, dining rooms, a workplace, and they always have a guard outside. So they are somewhat organized. Despite the fact they are not very good at fighting, however, there is a dead fiend inside, implying they were attacked by a fiend, but they killed him and did God knows what to him. Now, it's also worth mentioning that there is a poster for the Sierra Madre within this apartment building, so that is pretty interesting and a little Easter egg towards the DLC. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Unexplored Mojave. Now, one thing I wanted to mention was the strip letter that we found on the Gambler earlier is actually a part of several letters within Fallout New Vegas. There are 11 of them in total, and they all tell a different story about someone on the New Vegas Strip. So I just thought it was somewhat interesting and maybe something we'll get into later. And as always, if you have any recommendations for the next video, please post them in the comments section below. And until next time.